In Fayetteville, also dog day at the old ballpark. And the winner of today's tilt between the South Carolina Gamecocks and Arkansas Razorbacks will also claim this top 11 series and continue to bolster their season's resume. Let's bring you up to the booth. Brett Dolden, Sydney Parley, thanks so much for joining us. Arkansas had the run rule, scoring a lot of runs late on Friday. Stuff be as sharp, will be as good. Very good in relief last night. And Lelio on the first pitch of the game. Well, Sky went out to left, caught by Kramer. It's an 81-degree afternoon, Sydney, but the wind is a much different hitting-friendly condition than we've had in the first. Batted 3-hole in game one, batted second last night, and again this afternoon. She's going to sky one to center, traveling to Reagan Johnson, who will make the catch, and there's 2 outs. It was last Friday when Robin Herron, but Rhodey got one out yesterday. Only long ball in this series. It's rocketed right to Reagan Johnson. How about that? 2 flyouts and a line out. Gamecocks with good contact. They go in order, and Arkansas coming to the bat. It is not homered in 3 straight games, so that's a little bit unusual. Good bunt, maybe another hit for Reagan Johnson. Indeed it is. 51 hits for Reagan Johnson, a double-figure hit streak, and she's on base yet again. And they were trying to get pitches to drive, and Texas was not willing to give them something. Kramer pounds one to right, but caught by Knight. Well struck, but an out. And there's one gone and full. 3 infielders on the left side of the diamond. Ellis with a mile-high pop-up. Not an easy play for Rhodey, and she's going to get there. There was a split second of trepidation where I thought that wind was going to carry the ball away from her, and there was no teammate to help.
Time with them as she can during practices, and she really wanted to note that this is a very selfless position group.
Hard hit and fair. Pass Chansey rolling into the corner. Vincent's going to cut it off, though, to keep Johnson from scoring. And Sydney, you know left field in this ballpark. If Vincent isn't able to get there and that goes to the fence, Johnson's probably going to come around and get paid the big bucks to make these tough decisions. But after the visit, Wyckoff reaching for one and skying it out to left in foul territory. Vincent makes the catch, and the inning ends. Arkansas gets a couple of hits. They don't score, and we played an inning. South Carolina down 4-0 yesterday, came back for the win. That one got winners. So a hit by pitch. Arkansas had 14 unanswered runs until Carolina scored the last 5. Then again, softball team had a joyous win with their comeback. Chansey socks one. Well hit right center field. This ball's got a chance, and it's going to go. Clearing the wall in right center field. The second home run of the season for number 2, Ella Chansey, and the Gamecocks strike first. A hit by pitch at opposite field, line drive, home run.
And for Ella Chansey, that swing right there, the ball got out in a hurry. This ball is a little bit elevated in the zone. Her barrel so quick to contact and through extension. She knew right as she was rounding first base that that ball is out of the ballpark.
Games, and you know, she said no, and that's ball 4, but they have kind of a unique system, Sydney. At some point, I'm going to have to hear more, but they have an arm care system. They go through some tests, some scores.
Our number 2 to look to get the save or come in when we're ahead is who's it going to be that we can rely on.
Knight hits one hard to Rio. Well, nice play, and Arkansas is going to get 2. Rio secured the smash from Knight. A quick flip to Davison and on to first, and that is another 3-2 from Herron. Wave and a miss. Changing speeds, getting Sellers to K. Nice pitch to end the frame. But Chansey hit.
But the other part of that, too, was that Rhodey, when she didn't even attempt to make that play as well.
Well, whether it went through her legs or under her glove, regardless, she was in front, of course. We've seen that a ton this year. Runners getting hit by ground balls. Rio socks one to left. This starts to carry over the head of Vincent, over the fence. Opposite field home run from Rio. The ball's jumping today at Bogle, and each team has a 2-run homer. 5th home run of the season for Rio, and Oppo shots.
And And for Italia Rio, this is a middle to outside pitch, and what a beautiful job keeping her chest and her hands just right on it and through it. I don't even think the wind played a factor in that swing to drive it over the left field wall.
Boy, Vincent was shallow and left, and I thought that ball was going to get over her head.
Provides so much alleviation for our pitching staff because we know, they know.
That one sucked her right, and I didn't know if Knight was going to get there. She was turning those hips left and right, but she was able to get back and make the catch on the track to take.
And more times than not, you're going to have some wind blowing up here in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Not a lot of fun for those outfielders, to say the least. That's deflected to the shortstop Blankenship. My goodness, she is really good. And retires Miller. Long fly out, hard ground out after the home run from Rio. Johnson, another little tapper, and another infield base hit. She continues to have an amazing stretch. Reagan Johnson's now 5 for 8 this weekend. Each team with a 2-run homer. Hard ground ball back to the circle. Fielded by Lamb, and that will end the inning. But Sydney, Italia Rio even up this game with one big swing.
They have gained for the 3rd game now on Robin Heron.
And Vincent earns the long walk. So she reaches to begin the 3rd inning for the top of the lineup. Because at some point, nothing into DeLilio. She will wave and miss. Came out of that box, tomahawked and chased after the high one. And that is the 2nd strikeout.
Championship belt each week after play to the best player.
That ball socked her right. It's going to carry over the head of Wyckoff and get up off the base of the fence. Carly might be going for the belt this weekend. She doubles to send Vincent to 3rd. We have seen some routes in 33 straight games. This will be 34 the easy way.
And I'll tell you, Brett, this is just going to add to the where she currently sits. She leads the nation in walks per game. And prior to this,
no place to put Lexi Winters. Big pitch from Heron. Little tapper that Davison is going to throw home, but Miller wasn't on the plate, and everybody's safe, and Carolina scored a run. I feel like that is the 3rd time this series where South Carolina scored a run. Wasn't expecting it from Davison.
and with this speed of this offense, and this is what South Carolina's offense, it is their bread and butter, manufacturing runs. Situationally for winners,
look at Kennedy Point,
hitting the ball to the right side of the field was spot on.
And a payoff pitch to Chansey on the ground past Rio. That's a base hit. Everybody moves up a base. And it's 4-2 South Carolina. Chansey's knocked home 3 runs this afternoon.
And Chansey is on fire, just adding more run support for South Carolina. This swing right here, ball's a little bit down in the zone. She just drops her barrel on top of it, hits it firmly enough to get it past Rio to drive in another run. Interviews to, be selected as a team captain.
Comebacker. A throw to Miller. Down to first. The 1-2-3 double play will end the 3rd inning. Maybe a bit of a break for the Razorbacks.
Mindset mentality of Bree.
Gets under one and skies it to center, but playable for Lelio, who makes the catch.
And to go back to that thought, I saw her in an interview this past week where she was basically saying, I don't think about those numbers. And then throughout my career, those numbers went away just where it was our names up on the scoreboard.
Ella was almost waiting on that pitch. She was kind of leaning a bit, but still threw a barrel to ball and rolls it into left for her 2nd.
Call about the winds, on the road. They're playing in hostile environments.
Winters can't locate it, and McDowell takes 2nd.
And what a great read by McDowell. But she talked about we play in hostile and that a pitching change was made within an at-bat at a 3-2 count.
3-2 count. That one skips away from Winters. Another free base. McDowell sprints to 3rd, rounds and holds. Fly ball might chase home another Razorback run, but Lamb going after Wyckoff and getting the wave and a miss. So that was huge. Where a fly ball, maybe even a ground ball, would play to the run to get the strikeout.
Haven't found what clicks quite yet to them in their eyes.
To the backstop, here comes McDowell, and Arkansas is going to get a free run. Pass ball, wild pitch, and it's 4-3. Chance to get out of this inning with no damage done. and then she gave it back.
And what I'm seeing from Lamb on these balls that are getting away from her and are down in the dirt is she's just holding on to the ball.
Pitching change, and then there was an issue with the dirt in front of the pitching rubber. Here's a 3-2 today, and that's not close. So she has walked in both of her trips to the plate today, representing the top light. It is the changeup. It is that run. Here's Rio. She socks one to right. Knight will drift in and make the catch. So one pitch will end the inning. Arkansas gets a run. 10, I don't know, quarterbacks in the country. But it's the new era we live in. It's going to be a swing and a miss and a throw to first where whatever used to be normal is no longer.
It's not. It's sector as well.
She'd love a couple of quick outs to get off the field. There's one of them. Wave it a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts from Herron here in the fourth inning against the bottom of the lineup.
The count and just working the ball down in the zone. She has not thrown a lot of rise balls since the first inning.
I think that's a good thought process. Ellis quickly responds and fires to Davison, and Arkansas gets out of the inning with no damage done, and the Arkansas Razorbacks come to bat, trailing by a run.
For the game's over and get some reps in.
Problem is my shoulder hurts like a son of a gun. That ball's driven in the air, deep left. When it lands, it'll be a tie game, and it almost found the parking lot. Carly Davison got one up, out, and long gone. It's a 4-4 contest.
In the red, and again, due to the home run, this ball's elevated in the zone. Carly Davison gets her hands up to it and stays through it. What a big time swing by Carly Davison to tie this ball game up.
Her first collegiate hit was a home run against loopy pitches.
No, you've got to have the speed to
Amen.
help your power.
Miller rolls one to Shelton. She'll gobble it up, throw out Kennedy for the first out of this fourth inning, now tied at 4.
Slumps. You may get into a little bit of a lull, but when you have so many tools in your toolbox to utilize against a team and a defense, it gives you that much more ability to utilize to get on base.
One of a few times that Reagan's hit the ball. You have some success. You've gotten it as far as you can go, but it's hard to sustain it. They have sustained it here. They're trying to win this series, though, and Kramer's going to take ball 4, and that's a big walk because it'll bring up Bree Ellis. And she's 0 for 2 in this.
That's what I teach my girls.
Soft pop-up out in the center. This might be caught. That was a nice effort. Good play by Shelton. She had to hang with it. But Carly Davison able to connect. She was at Oklahoma, and I think her family felt like that was a long ways from Cali. Hard hit to Davison. She'll scoop it up and throw out Lelio to begin the 5th inning. Would have been in her nostril like Courtney Day, and we would have had another mess.
And talk about a perfectly placed rise ball if she's getting it that far underneath her hands to create that.
And that's right down the pipe. Strike 3 to Shelton. She had back-to-back strikeouts of Winters and Knight, and Dorian and I said, I think she just flipped the switch. How about that liner? Back to the circle, and Herron spears it. Lifted to Lelio in center, fighting the winds. That was not a comfortable catch in center. Saw a lot of yellow in that glove as it kind of rattled around. Aggressive pitch. Lifted to Lelio. Sunglasses on, though, and she will track it down and make that catch. So she's had 2 putouts. One in left center, one on it on the biggest of stages under the brightest of lights. Flare out to Vincent in left, who is playing shallow. She'll make the catch. Arkansas had 3 balls in the air, nothing to show for it. They go in order. Still tied at 4th.
See and grit that it has to take facing a team for the 3rd time.
Well, there's no doubt. It's really the challenge. As Winters will fly one out to right, and this ball will be caught by Wyckoff. And along those lines, Sydney, there was this will be the 90th for Herron today. Over 230 this weekend. She gets the wave of the miss. Chansey chased the rise ball, and Sydney, there haven't been a coconut to end the fifth, and has fielded her position nicely today. That's poked out to right, so that's a base hit from Blankenship, which will end the streak of 9 straight Gamecocks that have been retired.
And for Blankenship, that's the best.
Watch Bree right in front of her, and then she will charge before the pitch. So Blankenship has to go around Bree, and that one socked to the right center for a base hit. Johnson will cut it off. Blankenship goes to third. Back-to-back 2-out singles, and the Gamecocks have runners on the corner. She's trying to give her team some juice. The 2-1. That's on the corner. That was a similar-looking pitch to earlier in the sequence. Now Knight does take second. Kennedy Miller did not want to throw through with 2 outs and now 2. Sellers wants to deliver for the Gamecocks. Here we go, and a 3-2 is on the way. Wave and a miss. Sellers chased the high one. Heron gets the K. He dogs. Mile-high fly ball to Lelio off the bat of Rio, fighting the sunshine and the breeze, and she'll make the catch, and that is 5 straight balls hit in the air that have been recorded as outs against Gress. Another one popped up. Blankenship used her hand to kind of shade her eyes, and Arkansas is really in elevate mode, and that's a couple of quick outs now for Kennedy Miller. Is Gress doing something as far as bloop to center, base hit? So Harrison gets the single to keep the inning alive and turn this lineup over. But is in. Chansey from third, Rohde from first. Socked into left, a base hit. Hard contact. Wood goes to second. She represents the go-ahead run. It will take potential at least one more hit. What will Gress give Kramer to hit? Nothing. And that scenario we just forecasted is going to come to fruition. And over the last couple of weeks, teams have been doing what. Bases full of Razorbacks. Tie game. The pitch to Ellis. And it hit her. It grazed her on the elbow. Bree Ellis gets an RBI the easy way. And for the first time today, the Razorbacks have. Did it just glance off that elbow guard?
And this off-speed pitch gets just enough.
Did it get her belt?
I'm going to say it got her back elbow from the view that we just saw, but let's take another look at it. It's not that it...
Well, you see a change of direction. I think it was almost easier to see it from the side. She's pointing to that elbow. Pokes one to second. There is Shelton. She'll make the play to end the inning. Arkansas leaves the bases loaded. For the first time today, they have the lead as we go to the 7th.
Of this game and keeping South Carolina off balance, especially these last 2.5 innings.
Ground ball to McDowell. Strong throw to first. One big out in the top of the 7th inning. Series, sometimes it comes down to that last inning on a Sunday to do just that. That one's rocketed into center. It'll drop in front of Johnson. That's a big hit. It brings Shelton to the plate, representing the go-ahead run.
Well, almost it all today here at Boca Park.
Another 0-2. Past Ellis into right. That's a base hit. What a big sequence. Shelton was down 0-2, but delivers the base hit. Rohde. Heron ready. Here comes the payoff. Rocketed back to the mound again. How about a double play to win the game and win the series? Rohde hit another bullet that Heron speared. Self-preservation and ball game in one fell swoop.
See of Robin Heron coming out and pitching a complete game to get the win for Arkansas, and the second hard hit ball that's been hit back at her, and she does her job.
I think she had to make sure that ball was in the glove before she threw to Bree Ellis, who spiked it with some joy, and Arkansas wins it 5-4. A bases loaded hit by pitch. Robin Heron, a gutty performance to get to the wire. I got to tell you what, sometimes you wonder what the emotions are like of somebody who's just come off the field. Well, we're going to ask Robin Heron just that. She caught the line drive Robin, how are you feeling this many pitches deep into the